Peck and Carey Systems Approach Model. This model is a series of steps for designing and developing learning. It's based on a reductionist approach which breaks down large to smallest parts to better understand the whole system. This model is a series of steps for designing and developing the learning process. It's based on a reductionist approach which breaks down large ideas into smaller parts to better understand the entire system. For example, yung malaking idea or malawak na idea ay hatiin sa mas maliit na parts para mas maintindihan ng isang learners. Next is Peck and Carey Instructional Design Model. It's a 9-step process for planning and designing effective learning. The Peck and Carey Instructional Design Model, also known as the Systems Approach Model, is a 9 steps process for planning and designing effective learning process. This model places more emphasis on design and less on implementation compared to ADDIE. It integrates iterative development. Iterative development which is allowing for continuous revision and improvement of the instructions. Yung tuloy-tuloy lang yung pagre-revisions kung may mali para yung improvement ng isang materials or instructions is maayos.
So, hi, good morning. So, let's go ahead and steps in Peck and Carey Instructional Design Model. So, number 1 is identify instructional goals. Your instructional goals set out where you want to get to. In defining them, you should align with your organizational strategic goals, be clear on what learners will be able to do or how they will behave. After your initiative has been delivered, focus on real-world skills and behavior. So here in number 1, the learner should be able to achieve, clearly outline the skills or knowledge they need to develop in the end of the instruction. So let's go ahead and number 2, conduct instructional analysis. Your instructional analysis determines the current state of skills and knowledge in your learning population, and through this, your gap to your goals. This can be assessed through interviews, surveys, observation, or different forms of testing, depending on the nature of the skills. So, in the number 2, conduct instructional analysis, you have to break down tasks into steps, or each goal you have to step by step. So the learners should identify what they need to do and understand each step one by one. So in the number 3 naman, identify entry behaviors. In addition to analyzing your learning population's current level of knowledge, you also need to understand their behaviors, traits, level of motivation, and other factors that will affect their learning journey. This information will help you design appropriate learning methods. So you have to fully understand that learners needs the learning environment. So you have to assess their prior knowledge, preferences, and the condition of their learning. Number 4, write performance objectives. Learning objectives should be smart and should lay out tasks and processes that must be mastered and how they will be able to assess. This may be known as SWBAT, or in education, student will be able to. So here you have to create a clear and measurable learning targets. So each objective should describe specific outcomes and how can they be assessed. So number 5 is develop criterion tests to monitor and evidence both progress and effectiveness of instruction. you need to develop criterion-specific tests. This should be of the right format and level of your learning populations. So you have to design a effective monitoring device. So if objectives are met, ensure the assessments align with your objectives. So you can accurately evaluate learning progress. That's all. Thank you.
6 is develop instruction strategy. Only once you know what your goals, current state, gap, objective, and testing approach are should you define your instruction strategy. It should you reflect your analysis and use appropriate learning theories. 7 is develop and select instructional materials. Materials, tool, exercise, and delivery media should be decided only once you have defined your learning strategy. This may be include face-to-face, group-based, facilitated, or online learning materials. 8. Develop and conduct formative evaluation. Formative evaluation involve assessing how effectively you have been formulated your learning initiative. This can be obtained through review, focus group, testing of segment, and piloting your learning program. Feedback obtained should be use of iterative and initiative. 9 is develop and conduct summative evaluation. Summative evaluation take place once you have delivered your initiative and used to assess how effective and has been. Are your participants satisfied with the program? Have the knowledge and skill increased because of it? Has the business noticed any benefits due to it? Ongoing revision. You should continually review and revise through your instructional design and develop process, regularly seeking feedback, testing outcomes, and iterating two stages of your learning products will help you to ensure delivery the best possible outcomes.
This model focuses the learner-centered aspect of instructional design. It emphasizes the role of technology and its importance of context in the learning process, and it also focuses on learner engagement and motivation that incorporates technology and flexible learning environments. It also encourages adaptability and responsiveness to learner needs. The Hannafin and Peck design model prioritizes learner needs and incorporating technology, flexible learning environments. Its iterative process ensures continuous evaluation and improvement. Hannafin and Peck design model has three-phase process that involves a needs assessment, design, and instruction. Development and implementation. All phases include evaluation and revision. That explain this model enhances student engagement, explain the motivation and learning outcomes. It promotes personalized learning, effective technology, integration, and adaptability. The Hannafin and Peck are 1. Iterative and flexible. 2. Best for adaptive and tech-based. 3. The Hannanoya Peck for adaptable learner-driven projects. 4. The right choice depends on goals, context, and learner needs. That explain the Hannafin and Peck design models to various educational contexts, including online courses, blended learning, adaptive learning systems, professional development, programs, and K-12 higher education institutions. The advantages of Hannafin: this model fosters learner autonomy, collaboration, and teacher-learner interaction. Its flexibility accommodates diverse learning styles, promoting inclusive education. For its implementation, effective implementation requires clear goals and context analysis, learner profiling, and continuous evaluation. Educators can integrate this model into existing curricula or develop new programs around its principle.
Yung focus po ng goal na ito is to have and ensure the good outcomes. Imagine you're building a house, you start with planning, gathering materials, construct the frame, walls, ropes, and then finally decorating. The Peck and Carey is like a blueprint for effective learning experiences, while the Hannafin and Peck model is focuses on the needs of the target audience. Both models are valuable for instructional design, or sa model o sa choice na pipiliin natin ay nakadepende siya sa need ng project na ating gagawin. The Hannafin and Peck model, which prioritizes learner autonomy, places a strong emphasis on self-directed learning. The Hannafin and Peck model emphasizes a flexible and iterative design process, prioritizing learning-centered and problem-based learning experiences. The Hannafin and Peck model prioritizes the development of a comprehensive instructional plan during the design phase. This plan outlines specific learning objectives, appropriate instructional strategies, and relevant assessment methods to ensure effective learning outcomes. So, the Hannafin and Peck model is a framework for designing effective learning experiences. It emphasizes learner autonomy, self-directed learning, flexible and iterative design, learner and centered and problem-based learning, and lastly, a comprehensive instructional planning. In learner autonomy, it's empowering learners to take control of their learning journey and make choices about their learning path. So, itong learner autonomy, mas inaano nila yung mga learner para makontrol at natutunan pa yung mga bagay-bagay sa paggawa ng choice about sa learning path na ating susundin. And the self-directed learning, it's encouraging learners to effectively seek out information and knowledge and apply it to a real-world problems. So, malinaw na sinabi naman dyan na yung learner ay mas effective siya para na yung knowledge natin and information ay nadadagdagan siya at na-apply natin sa mga real world problems natin. In the flexible and iterative design, allowing for adaptation and refinement of the learning experience based on feedback and emerging needs. Sa flexible and iterative design, dito napapakita yung sa pag-adapt natin ng natutunan natin or para ma-apply yung learning and sa pamamagitan ng experiences. In learner-centered and problem-based learning, it focusing on the learner's needs and interests and using a real-world problems to motivate and engage learning. Parang yung nabanggit ko kanina, nagagamit siya sa real-world problems natin. At ito naman is makaka-motivate siya para ma-engage yung mga learners. And lastly, the comprehensive instructional planning. It creates a detailed plan that outlines learning objectives, instructional strategies, and assessment methods to ensure effective learning outcomes. So, dito po sa comprehensive instructional planning, dito ko nagagawa ng detailed plan na kung saan nandiyan yung objective, instructional strategies, and yung assessment para mas malaman natin or para ma-ensure natin yung kung effective ba yung learning outcomes or yung kalalabasan. By prioritizing these key elements, the Hannafin and Peck model aims to create rich and meaningful learning experiences that promote critical thinking, problem solving, and lifelong learning.